Thank you. Ms. Frederick.
I do not support moving it. I think putting a nonpartisan election with a partisan election will dilute the quality of the election. I think we are spending some money, but we have worked with the cities to reduce the number of districts that they started with, and that has saved us dollars. And it probably will soon be mandated. And I think, you know, the term thing, you can go every year for 4 years, or a lot of districts go every other November, and that keeps it away from the election. Now, if this election were held last November, we would be lost. The issues were bigger than what we are right now. The community needs to hear these issues in a setting like this, focused on what we have. The community is, and the school district is the community.
Thank you. Next question, we'll start with Mr. Mazur. Do you think the Ferndale School District does a good job of providing inclusion opportunities for special education students?
I think we do. I think we do have a very good role in providing inclusion for special ed and for other students. That's one of my big issues in general, is inclusion instead of exclusion. And I think we need to include as many people as we can in the normal routines of our school buildings and our school programs. So I think, yeah, I think we do a fairly good job of that inclusion. I think could more be done? Yes. In any other program, more can always be done. And I think we need to look at some of those issues and try and help those move along. But I think inclusion is a big item that we've talked about in other areas also in this debate that we've been having. And I think everybody agrees we need to have inclusive, not exclusive programs. And the more inclusion that you have, the better district you're going to have, whether it's special ed or whether it's not special ed, and get all the kids together.
Thank you. Ms. Dahl.
Actually, I would probably agree with Mr. Major on this one. It sounds like the people I have talked to, we are making great efforts as a district to be more inclusive of special ed students within our programming. In fact, the other night after the diversity forum, I had a nice discussion with Mrs. Cardelli as far as the transition of some of those special ed kids into the middle school and the high school, and it's the transition not only of those special ed kids, but also of the kids in the high school, and being familiar with how to interact with kids that are special ed that might have disabilities that they're unfamiliar with and used to. And she said it's going really well, and given that that's her profession, I have to take her word for it, since she's in the hallways every day with the students. So, and what I see in the building where I go most frequently, I think we are doing a good job.
Ms. Frederick.
I think we're doing a really good job. We have Shelley Chapman, who runs the program. She has extended that program to help children up through the age of 26, which is as far as we can go by law. That program is now held at Jackson in the morning hours. The test scores for those children are rising, and they are even now have mentoring programs that have begun after school with the general ed kids and the special ed kids, and creating some unity and some bond and some activities with them.
Thank you. Ms. Kerr-Miller.
You know, I do think we are doing something with inclusion. Do I think we need to do more? Yeah, I really do think that we do need to do more. I think that we need to have more parent groups that perhaps combined the special ed and the mainstream classes. I think that we need to talk to the parents more. I think that we need to communicate with our special ed teachers more. I've had the opportunity to sub for 3 special ed teachers in this district regularly, and it's a problem for them. They feel very isolated. Although they are trying to be inclusive, and a lot of teachers are working with them, as a school board, I think more policies need to be made so that way the administrators can create procedures to make sure that this is happening on a regular, steady basis, and there's accountability. So yes, I do.
Thank you. Next question, we'll start with Ms. Stahl. Why should we keep the administration as is when everyone else is taking cuts and there appears to be no administrative cuts?
Okay, why should we keep it? Is that what you said? Is that what the question said? I'm
That's the
sorry.
question.
Okay, well, I mean, as far as the very top of the administration, Mr. Meyer, he has done a fabulous job in terms of having foresight in with the restructuring and with the financials and bringing in revenue. I think it would be horrible to downsize him or what have you. As far as the total staff, I do know, based on some articles that have been written, that we are administration heavy, although I would imagine with some of the retirement packages that might lighten up a little bit. So I would not be for forcing administration out, if I followed that question correctly.
Ms. Frederick?
Actually, we are not keeping administration the same. In fact, Monday night at the board meeting, we voted in a new organizational plan that has cut dollars out of the annual budget, and we were able to do that and reorganize based on the reductions in staffing through our voluntary retirement plan, and we did it without any layoffs, and we will reap $370,000 annually now with that reorganization alone, and that's not the first one that the administration has done. Now, for our building administrations, I think we're set pretty good in terms of the manpower that we have for the tasks at hand, and I have no reason to believe that there should be changes there.
Thank you. Ms. Karamola?
Well, I was going to say the same thing Carol said, that I'm pretty sure that administration is in the middle of being restructured. For instance, I know that Fran Foote is retiring, and I don't think that she'll be replaced, but instead her job will be filtered out through other people, and that's one major part of our administration. And I think 3 total administrators are retiring, and so when we do hire back replacements for like Coolidge and Kennedy, I would assume that they will be much cheaper, since they will be at the bottom of the totem pole again, so that will help bring some balance into the area of the cost going in that way. As far as the upper echelon administration, I think that Gary is a genius, and I'm all for making sure that he stays with us.
Thank you. Mr. Mazur?
I think the administration has been doing a fantastic job, and they've brought a lot of very valuable ideas to this district, and they've walked us through our school changes. I think they are very good at listening to and carrying out board policy. They do listen to the board. I see their work every day. I think Stephanie does a superb job at marketing our district, getting information out. A lot of these innovative ideas have come from the administrators. I think it's been terrific. They're very highly qualified. They come in highly qualified. So part of the problem is you can't always get rid of a high-paid, shall we say, experienced administrator and necessarily get a cheap, low-cost one. I think you're going to pay for what you get also as far as quality. So I think we have to have quality administrators, experienced administrators, and I would not change how we're doing things. We are going through our particular budget rounds right now that we are doing some reorganization, as we always do. And Gary looks at that very carefully, talks to the board about it. So, thank you.
Thank you. The next question will start with Ms. Frederick. Due to deep recession in Michigan, sales tax is down, per pupil allowances are down. Do you think Proposal A should be reconsidered or tweaked